seriously. Let's head up to Jacksonville, where we will be this weekend, and welcome our first fighter of the week, Trevor Peak. Trevor, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I just pretty much got my last training session in. Now I'm just going to rest and get ready to cut this weight, and then the hard work will be over with, and just get ready to have some fun.
Before we talk about fight week and we talk about the fight on Saturday, tell us a little bit about yourself. I saw your very impressive first time in the octagon, and like I said, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the northeast corner of Alabama. I currently live in Chattanooga. I mean, I started fighting at a young age. I mean, I got in the octagon the first time when I was 15. I found out about the fight the day of and got my parents to sign a piece of paper and went and fought, and then, really got sucked into addiction and stuff and started, living a wild lifestyle and never really took up training. And then, later on in life, I kept getting in trouble and finally accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and tried to get on a path of success and started training and trying to be a good person. And, ever since then, man, I mean, I've been super blessed, and, I'm getting to live out my dreams. So, yeah, I was lost, broken, busted, disgusted, defeated, and, I give my life over to Christ, and things have been so much better since then. Everything's coming together.
There's nothing better than somebody who fights in the streets who now gets paid to fight in a cage.
Man, I'm telling you, it's so much better this way. I don't have to worry about getting in trouble, and like you said, I get some money off of it now.
Exactly. So I'm curious. You said from the northeast corner of Alabama. Are you a Crimson Tide or are you a War Eagle?
I actually War Eagle, man. My entire family on both sides Auburn fans. I'm not super invested into it like I used to be. I kind of, after I quit partying and stuff and took up fighting and took it a lot more serious, man. It really takes up most of my time, energy, and attention. I watch all the cards I can, and just really ain't into football and sport, that kind of sports as much anymore.
Sure. My brother, who went to one of those two colleges, went to get gas. He was on scholarship. He played on the baseball team. He was pretty good. He went to pump gas. He gave him the credit card, and they said, "You're not welcome here," and wouldn't let him buy gas there.
Wow.
He went to Alabama. He had an Alabama credit card, and they were an Auburn fan, and they wouldn't sell him the gas.
Oh, my goodness, man. Yeah, that's a bit much. They some diehard fans on both sides, man. It's almost like a little mini Civil War in Alabama because of them.
No, for sure. And for those that don't know, you do, I do. They take that serious. Alabama-Auburn rivalry is, if not the number one, it's definitely in the tops. I mentioned about the first time you got in the octagon. Talk about that experience. Well, I think it was in February. The domination that you performed, and what was going through your mind.
Are you talking about my first experience ever, or this first UFC fight?
The first UFC fight that was in February.
Oh yeah, so man, like, I'd had experience at the Apex, because I'd been there in September fighting on the Contender Series, so I had a little bit of advantage and got there and got to Vegas and everything, and weight cut went pretty decent. The whole experience was just a lot better than my Contender Series experience, and we got over there and got to the venue on fight day, and I felt a lot better than just all the way around, health-wise, everything. I just felt better that day, and as far as like the way I was moving and stuff in the back, I mean, I felt fresh, I felt good, I felt ready to go, and then right before, probably, I don't know, about 15 minutes before we was ready to walk, I started getting in my head a little bit, just, so much pressure, the whole world's watching you, you don't want to perform poorly. So I started getting in my head a little bit, but, I kind of just stopped myself and had a long conversation, with myself, really, and I was kind of like, man, like, do you not enjoy this? Like, do you just enjoy the win, or do you not enjoy fighting anymore? Like, why are you so worried about winning? And I just kind of stopped myself and was like, no, I genuinely love fighting, like, and I just come to the realization, like, that I don't know, about my whole pro career, I've been so consumed with winning and my performance that I haven't really taken the time to enjoy the fight and have a good time. And that's one thing I did before my last one. I stopped myself long enough to gather my mind and tell myself to, just have a good time. Don't worry about winning. Don't worry about losing. Just get in there and be myself and try to have as much fun. And this was going to be my debut, make this experience as good as I possibly could. And it was, man, I had so much fun. So that's something I'm going to try to take with me the rest of my career, is just stop myself before I go out there and make myself get in that position mentally where I'm ready to have fun and I'm not so consumed with the outcome,
Right.
So Trevor, I mean, this question, maybe the first time I've ever thought this.
Asked a question?
Yeah, ask a question on this program. And secondly, it's the first time I've actually thought about this question. So I'm asking you, it's raw, so it's brand new, so I haven't had time to vet it. But, a lot of fighters, they get in and they talk about how, if they didn't have fighting, they'd be locked up or dead, because of the streets. And then you have guys that get in, they treat it just like a professional sport, and they either manufacture hate for their opponent or they summon some kind of evil to like hurt another human. But with your case being like so godly and a preacher, and is it hard to like go in there knowing that you're going to hurt somebody for that's does that come into play on the emotional side of like, this is a human that you're going in, and yes, it's a job and it's a career, but does the emotional side ever take place?
No, sir, not beforehand. I try not to think like that. There is times it has, like, I was scheduled for my last fight. I was scheduled to fight a gentleman named Alex Reyes, and he got injured. But man, he had been through a lot. Like, he'd been through like a 4 or 5 year layoff because like he'd got a stem cell shot in his back, and it about paralyzed him. So I kind of felt sorry for that guy, so there has been times in my career that I've kind of not wanted to fight the person out of feelings or whatever, like just their story, but for the most part, man, I try not to think about them kind of things. You might get hurt if you get in there worrying about hurting somebody, but I mean, definitely after the fight, I'm concerned about my opponents and everything, and want them to want to win. I want to win, but I also want them to come out without in being too messed up.
Let me take Matt's question and change it a little bit and ask it this way: how do you turn on and off the violence?
Really, man. I mean, it's a good question. That's just something that a lot of people are born with different kind of instincts, and I mean, I've got a violent instinct in me. Like God created people like King David and warriors and people like that, and I feel like I've got that spirit instilled in me.
Well, give me your thoughts, on your opponent, and I know it was another change, of your opponent on this fight, and the thoughts on an early start time.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the opponent switch goes, I mean, it's I'm just gonna go in there and be Trevor Peak, man. You know what I mean? Like if I am who I say I am and who I believe I am, then it shouldn't really matter, But as stylistically, it's a tougher matchup. I mean, he's better than I feel like he's more skilled, more dangerous than my previous opponent. I don't think he quite has as much power as my previous opponent did, but I mean, he should be more dangerous. I'm expecting this first round to be just complete fireworks, honestly.
And the fact that it's an early start time, you'll probably fight somewhere around 12:30, where normally it would be, 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about it, man, but just because, like when my testosterone levels and stuff spike up at the end of the camp, I kind of have trouble like sleeping at times, and I'm hoping if I can get a good night's sleep, it ain't that big of a deal. But I guess the main concern is that it cuts into my rehydration time, really, and I mean, especially like on the regional scene, man, I've been accustomed to fighting main event for a good while now, so on the regional scene, I haven't been fighting till 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. So, I mean, I've had like an instrumental amount of time to get rehydrated. And these last couple of fights, I think I fought around 3 or 4, like you said, and I felt decent then. But this one's like, I mean, we got to get up early early and get on over there. And I just hope I'm feeling good from the rehydration process by then, and I'm awake.
For sure. Well, enjoy the process. I know the reward comes Saturday when you get back in the octagon. Thank you very much for your time. I know we have your address. We're going to send you a care package from 8 Man Strong, as well as some cool stuff from Bucked Up Energy Drink. And we'll see you in the media room on Saturday.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you for the time. Trevor Peak back in the octagon
Maybe one of the
on
most
Saturday.
polite guys we've ever had.